Hello everyone, welcome to What If Naruto Runway from Village and becomes the heir of Lucifer Morningstar Part 1. Before we start, please go support NagashBlackHand for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Naruto is a male in this story. Chapter 1. We find ourselves in Konoha, where a 4-year-old boy is chased by a mob of villagers who shouted things like, "Come here, you damn demon, don't escape, demon, we will finish you off tonight, you damn demon." The poor boy was running desperately until he saw an alley where he entered, but unfortunately for him there was no way out. The boy could only curse his luck, but he left that behind when he heard the villagers approaching. "Villager, you no longer have a way out, damn demon, now you will die for causing so much pain." The child did not respond, since every time he tried to say the opposite they hit him harder. Thus the beating began, where the child only screamed in pain. Just when he thought they were done, he heard and he saw something that terrified him. "Shinobi, this time I'll make sure you die," he said, a silver-haired chonin with a kunai. When he was going to stab the boy, someone started applauding. Everyone looked back and there was a man in a suit with a superior smile. Without stopping applauding, he said, "Humans are always so stupid, not even a demon would do that to a child." "Villagers, who are you? Do you know who this child is?" "He is the demon that killed our families," they said with resentment and hatred towards the child. "Yes, I know who this child is. He is the son of the 4th Hokage and his name is Naruto, and my name. Well, they know me with different names like Satan, Beelzebub and others, but the one I like and use the most is Lucifer." "Villager, we don't care what your name is, and this is not the 4th son, he only has 2 who are the heroes of Konoha, Mito and Menma." But he couldn't continue speaking as his head fell to the ground. Everyone got scared and ran away, passing by Lucifer. Approaching the boy who was looking at him with fear, he said, "Lucifer, don't worry, little guy, I'm not going to do anything to you." Naruto was still in the corner holding his knees against his chest. Lucifer could only sigh and curse the fact that he didn't know how to deal with children. "Lucifer, boy, I'm not here. I didn't get anything right, because if I wanted to hurt you I would have already done it, and I wouldn't have killed that asshole over there." Hearing that, Naruto calmed down a little and asked cautiously, "Naruto, what do you want from me and why are you helping me?" "Lucifer, well, what I want is for you to accompany me to a place and I will help you, since I want to live life, and being Lucifer, it is difficult for me to enjoy it, so I decided to have an heir, and look how lucky you are to be a child." "Naruto, how am I going to be your heir?" "Lucifer, oh Buck. Please boy, do you want to come with me and have a great time, or stay here and continue receiving beatings until you die?" Naruto could only think and decide quickly, since the answer for him was simple. "Naruto, okay, I'll go with you. But I could say goodbye to my grandfather. He is a very precious person to me." "Lucifer, okay, write whatever you want in this letter." Making a letter and a pen appear from among some flames. "Whatever you want, and when you're done, give it to me and I'll take care of giving it to you. But don't say anything about who you're going with or anything, so I'll make something up." Naruto, somewhat doubtful, did it and gave it to Lucifer. He did the same as before, but this time he made them disappear. "Lucifer, that's it, now come on and let's go." Naruto just approached, and once again among the flames the two disappeared, appearing in a place with a blue sky and some very tall buildings. "What has been a city?" "Lucifer, I present to you the underworld, the best place on the planet," he presented as he stood behind the city and extended his arms. "Now let's introduce you to the others as my successor." Thus heading towards the center, where there was a huge mansion. Upon arriving, he could see the mansion with a path surrounded by gardens with a huge water fountain in the center. As soon as he entered, he saw that it was very elegant, and with many objects that he didn't know what they were. When he looked down, he could see a group of maids who received them with great respect. "Lucifer, come with me, Naruto." There was a door that gave off a glow that blinded the blonde. When he regained his sight, he saw a red-haired man with blue eyes and a kind of armor on a table. Next to him was a silver-haired maid with eyes of the same color. In the other seat there was a green-haired man with blue eyes and a suit the same color as his hair. Next to him there was a black-haired girl who had 2 pigtails, her light lilac eyes, and was wearing green clothing. Lucifer, I present to you, this is Naruto, my successor, Naruto, these are Surzek's Gremory, his queen Graphia, the sloth over there is Ajuka Beelzebub, and the girl with pigtails is Seraphal Leviathan, even though their last names are only because of their position as Mao. I told you that position and those names since I am not interested in politics, and nor am I going to do so, so I placed them to maintain the underworld. Naruto, nice to meet you, he said a little nervously. Seraphal, oh, what a beautiful thing. Running towards the blonde and putting him against her breasts while she hugged him. Lucifer, hey Seraphal, you haven't turned into a pedophile on me, right? You can buck him when he grows a little more, he said while removing wax from his ears. Seraphal, shut up, what's the matter that you only think about drugs, hex and alcohol every hour of the day? Lucifer could only shrug his shoulders and smile. Lucifer, well, little boy, we will train you in both combat skills and seduction so that you will be a worthy successor. They all had a drop on their heads because of the seduction, but they let it go. I think you'll roughly make it to the final exam to become a genin. Naruto just nodded. Thus 9 years passed where the little blonde acquired great skills in combat, and copied Lucifer's personality. Lucifer, very good Naruto, you have become a worthy successor, so I give you my throne, thus making you immortal for humans. Naruto, thanks, by the way, haven't you forgotten something? Lucifer, the count is true. Leaving everyone present somewhat intrigued, this being the Maos. You have bucked Seraphal, Graphia, a certain Akino and Rias, Penemu, Gabriel, Tsukuyami, the human Kami, the Shinigami, Amaterasu, and finally Surzek's mother. The aforementioned only opened his eyes in surprise. So it's time to come back and have as much fun as I'm going to have. Naruto, of course I think I'll open a bar since the ones there are garbage. Lucifer, from now on you will be called Lucifer Morningstar. Thus disappearing with Naruto to head towards the human world. Human world. Naruto's parents had found out about his disappearance since the Sandaime Hokage showed them the letter. Menma was an arrogant and conceited boy just like his sister, only not at a level as high as Menma. With Naruto. He appeared a few meters from the Konoha gate, watching the guards who looked towards him, seeing a young man of about 16 years old with a black suit and blue eyes and blonde hair. They opened their eyes wide while the blonde just walked past them saying, Lucifer, I will now call Naruto Lucifer since that is now how he will be named. I think you already know who I am. Thus crossing the door being the center of everyone's attention, on the part of the men they looked at him with hatred for remembering who he was while the female part looked at him with lust. Completely forgetting his hatred towards the former Naruto. Naruto thoughts, Dad has arrived and this time to stay he thought as he smiled cheekily at all the women including the ones who were dating his partner. The blonde walked towards the Kallen Saratobi district, to be more specific to the third Hokage's house. When he arrived he knocked on the door and was greeted by Asuma Saratobi, who was happy when he saw him and let him in immediately. When he arrived at the living room he could see Hiruzen sitting while he smoked from his pipe, which he dropped to the floor when he saw it. Hiruzen, Naruto, how long have you seen how you've grown? He said happily as he hugged his blonde, or as he considered him, his grandson. Lucifer, I say the same, Grandpa, but in your case, age has been bad for you. She responded with affection, but in the last part with some mockery. Hiruzen, you're right, but you shouldn't make fun of a grandfather like me. She responded with some amusement as she sat down. Want something? Lucifer, well, now that you mention it, yes, I would like some wine since I have to go to the Bucking Academy soon. But what are you going to do? Hiruzen nodded since he knew what the blonde was like since they sent each other letters to keep in touch. Lucifer, by the way, now my name is Lucifer Morningstar. Hiruzen, and why that name if you can tell? Lucifer, well, the most I can tell you is that it is by inheritance, nothing more for the moment. Saratobi just nodded and brought the wine. They were talking until it was time to enter the academy. Hiruzen, here, Lucifer, this is a letter from me to let you in, and before I forget, the academy is now 1 year older. Lucifer, oh, don't buck with me like 1 more year? He said as he took the letter. Hiruzen, yes, Minato put in 1 more year since we are not at war, and he wants the students to leave with all the knowledge possible. Naruto, damn it, but if I look at the positive side, it's that I have more time to buck with my class and go out partying. Chapter 2. After leaving the third party's house, Lucifer headed towards the Hokage's office, but stopped when he looked at a store where they sold tobacco. Lucifer, perfect, I had run out of tobacco and look how lucky it is that there is a store here. Will they let me buy it? Poof, what does it matter? Entering the store, the salesman was going to say hello, but when he saw the blonde, he gave him a death look. Seller, what are you doing here, demon? You are not welcome here, so lose you. The blonde ignored him and grabbed 2 boxes of cigars and 2 cartons of tobacco. The seller, being ignored, was going to grab the blonde, but he touched him in the chest with 2 fingers, sending him against the wall, leaving him unconscious. Lucifer, I think I overdid it. Well, that's how he'll learn. Throwing the money from his purchase on his unconscious body. I was going to pay you like a good citizen, but since you screwed me up, I'm going to take all the tobacco for the price of my previous purchase. This is how I keep all the tobacco and alcoholic beverages in a separate dimension. Lucifer, I thank Graphia for teaching me how to make dimensions. They are very useful, just like other things she taught me, hee. But that is beside the point. Let's go to the tower. Thus leaving the store with a lit cigar, heading towards the tower. When he reached the tower and climbed the floors, he could see the assistant. The blonde smiled perversely and walked towards the girl. The aforementioned girl blushed and said when she saw the blonde, "Assistant, good morning, how can I help you?" The blonde just leaned towards the counter. Lucifer, well, you can help me in many ways, but right now I want one, and that is to talk to the Hokage. Assistant, I'm sorry, but right now he's in a meeting, and then he has another one with the Shinobi and Civilian Council. Lucifer, well, what's going to happen? By the way, what's your name, beautiful? The aforementioned only approached the blonde and responded in a mischievous way. Assistant, my name is Yui, and what is yours? Lucifer, my name is Lucifer Morningstar, and how about we have some fun while we wait? The girls just smiled. 1 hour later. The blonde was leaving a room while putting on his suit. Lucifer, it's been an hour now. She was saying it while he was looking at his Rolex watch. Well, why don't we interrupt a little meeting? I'm sure they'll be happy to see me, haha. So the blonde stood in front of the door listening to the voices of the council. Lucifer just lit another cigar and made a glass of whiskey appear. Lucifer, perfect time to introduce myself. Thus kicking the door, making everyone shut up and direct their gaze towards the door, seeing the blonde. Good morning, little shits of civil council, I'm back and to buck you and have a great time while I do it. Everyone on the civilian council looked at him with anger and resentment, except, as always, the women who saw him as if he were the last man in the world, including those on the Shinobi Council. But people looked at him with relief and joy. Minato/Kushina, Naruto-san, how nice to see you. But a certain redhead, seeing that his son was smoking, headed towards him. Kushina, Naruto, what are you doing with that in your mouth? Throw it away right now. Lucifer, first, my name is not Naruto, my name is Lucifer Morningstar, and second, who the hell are you to give me orders? That answer surprised Minato and Kushina and made her angry. Kushina, like who I am, I'm your mother, and don't answer me like that again. Trying to slap the blonde, he responded by grabbing his wrist, and with red eyes he responded. Lucifer, I don't think it's a very good idea to try to hit me, it's like trying to hit a demon. He said as a smile appeared on his face and his red eyes increased in intensity. And now sit down and don't touch my balls. The redhead was going to protest, but the blonde one touch sent her flying towards her seat, surprising everyone. Lucifer, what I was going for. I want my name to be Lucifer Morningstar and to disassociate myself from any existing ties to the Namakazes and Uzumakis, and without talking back. Counselor, but who do you think you are to talk to Yondaime like that and hit his wife, you dirty demon? The blonde just looked at him, and his flesh was left out. The counselor could only scream and fall from his chair. Counselor, he is not a demon, he is the devil, I shouted as he stuttered. Everyone was surprised since they had not seen anything, they just looked at him and the counselor started shouting. Lucifer, finally there is someone who says one of my names. Well, I'm late to go to the academy. Minato, do what I asked you, otherwise you will never see me again in your life. Unless you go to hell, then you will see me, ha ha ha. He said as he left the room towards the academy. At the academy, Iruka was giving classes until there was a knock at the door, when she saw Lucifer waiting for him smoking a cigar. Lucifer, hello, I come to give you this letter on behalf of the third party to enroll in the academy. The loser just nodded and entered the class. Iruka, guys, today we have a new student who has been transferred here by the third. You can pass. The aforementioned just nodded and entered, leaving all the girls in the class blushing and hardening a certain Inuzuka and Uchiha due to the attention he received as soon as he entered. Lucifer, good morning, my name is Lucifer Morningstar, I hope I get along well with the girls. Why am I going to put the rest of them through hell, hee hee? He whispered the last thing with a small smile, but it widened when a certain redhead spoke up. Menma, so you finally appear useless, I hope you come home so I can laugh at you for how weak you are. Lucifer, hee hee, hello little shit, how have you been? I hope you're doing well because from now on you're going to live hell, ha 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 ha. The aforementioned could only grit his teeth as everyone laughed at him for the new nickname. Don't get angry, little shit, I'll soon withdraw from you when I take from you what so much pride and prestige has given you. Menma could only be confused since he didn't know what he was referring to. Iruka, Lucifer, please go to a seat. The blonde just nodded, but before walking he looked at the room. Lucifer thoughts, I have to find people who can carry the title of Mao in the future and help me create one of my dreams. A small mafia, hee hee. Thus, heading towards a seat at the very end. When he sat down he took out a bottle and a glass of whiskey and poured himself a drink. Everyone was surprised by such an action and Iruka tried to reprimand him, but the blonde silenced him with a glance. Thus the days passed where Lucifer had become friends with Sasuke, Kiba and Shikamaru, telling them what he had planned and that he would train them. At first they didn't pay attention to him, but when he showed his strength, and one of the demons of the underworld called Razor Phoenix, they had to believe him. Now Lucifer was heading towards Sasuke's house to have dinner and meet his family. When he arrived he knocked on the door, and it was opened by Sasuke's brother, Itachi Uchiha. Itachi, so you're Sasuke's friend. The blonde just looked like that with his typical smile and walked inside the house, making Itachi close the door and guide him towards the dining room. The blonde could see Sasuke, who looked at him with a smile similar to his, which made Itachi miss, but he let it go. But everyone looked at the kitchen door where a voice came from. Mikoto, good night Naruto-kun. Lucifer, please Mikoto-chan, I don't call myself that anymore. Mikoto, sorry Lucifer, hee hee. By the way, how did you choose that name? Lucifer, you could say it's inheritance. He responded with a small laugh accompanied by Sasuke's as well. Mikoto, how long until dinner is ready? Mikoto, approximately 15 minutes. Why, you ask? Lucifer, it's to talk privately with Itachi and Sasuke for nothing else. Itachi just looked at the blonde, who looked back at him with a smile. Mikoto, sure, you can go upstairs, I'll call you when I'm ready. The blonde just nodded and began to head towards the upper floor accompanied by the two brothers. When they entered one of the rooms, Lucifer snapped his fingers and the entire room took on a lilac color. Lucifer, well, Itachi, now we are in a separate dimension and now I am going to propose something to you. Itachi, and what would that be? Somewhat surprised by the dimension. Lucifer, do you believe in the supernatural like demons, angels and fallen angels? Itachi, no. Why do you ask? The blonde just snapped his fingers again and 3 people appeared from 3 magic circles. Lucifer, this one here. Pointing at a redhead in armor. Surzek's Gremry is one of the Maos of the underworld. The named man spread his wings, leaving Itachi surprised, and for the first time revealing his emotions. Lucifer, that one over there. Pointing to another guy with a wine-colored trench coat and some blonde hair. This is Azazel, one of Grigory's cadres. The one named also spread his wings. Lucifer, and lastly we have Michael. Pointing to a blonde-haired man with gold-colored armor similar to Surzek's. This is one of the Seraphim of Heaven. The mentioned one did the same as the previous people and spread his wings. Itachi was speechless. Azazel, hey Lucifer, why did you call us? Tell me what's for fun since we haven't gone out in a while. Michael, hello Lucifer, how have you been? He left with a soft and cheerful voice. Surzex, Lucifer, you are a son of a bitch, how could you sleep with my mother? You were my brother, he said with anger. Lucifer, don't worry, Surzex, the brothers share everything, don't they? I doubt there will be any problem if you remember with my mother. She responded like it was nothing. Surzex, you know I can't because I'm married and I'm not interested. Surzex is married to another person whose name I will not name since it has no relevance in the story, and it would be looking for a suitable name. Lucifer, well, I called them to show Itachi that they exist in order to ask him to join our little mafia. The aforementioned just looked at the blonde in surprise. Well, what are you saying? We don't have all the time in the world. Your brother is already inside. Itachi, how is my brother already inside? Sasuke, yes, I've been inside for a few months. And if your answer is that I'm hungry. Itachi thought about it for a while and finally accepted. Lucifer, perfect. By the way, Sasuke, your mother is divorced, right? Sasuke, yes. Why, you ask? You won't think about sleeping with my mother? The aforementioned just smiled and left the room, but not before saying a few words. Lucifer, brothers and friends share everything, so do the same as Surzex if you can, I'll let you. By the way, guys. Heading towards the three men. You can go now, the next time I call you it will be to start with the preparations for the mafia hee. Thus leaving the room, leaving everyone there, who soon went to the dining room and others to their respective territories. Chapter 3. When Lucifer left the room, he sat down in one of the seats, where it didn't take long for the two brothers to arrive, who sat next to the blonde, starting to talk about different things until Mikoto arrived with dinner ready. Mikoto, guys, dinner is ready, I hope you like Lucifer, he said with a kind smile directed at the blonde, who could only smile and respond. Lucifer, how could I not like something about such a beautiful woman? That made the black-haired girl blush and snicker when she saw Sasuke hit Lucifer in the side with his elbow, and made a face of annoyance. Dinner passed quietly. Lucifer, well, dinner was great, but it's time for me to go home. When she was about to say goodbye, someone interrupted her. Mikoto, why don't you stay the night now? And who knows? Something else. He said the last while he stretched his leg and massaged the blonde's crotch with his foot. The brothers looked at the blonde in a bad way, instead he had a smile. Lucifer, well, since you insist, what's going to happen? So Mikoto, showing him his room where he went to sleep knowing that someone would enter his room, left the door open. And just as someone predicted, he entered. The next day Lucifer was making breakfast but was interrupted by two voices. Itachi/Sasuke, you must be a son of a bitch. You slept with our mother and on top of that you didn't put silent stamps so we could hear everything. We are going to kill you, bastard. The aforementioned only turned around and looked at them with a smile of superiority and arrogance. Lucifer, I already told you yesterday that brothers and friends share everything, and when it comes to killing me, good luck since I'm immortal, ha 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 ha. The two brothers just grunted and sat down to eat breakfast. Soon Mikoto came down with a smile and approached Lucifer, kissing him and then sitting down. Lucifer, well guys, after Sasuke and I get out of this shitty academy this afternoon, we meet at Training Ground 7 to train. Itachi just nodded and retired to do his umbu duties while the two friends left for the academy. When the afternoon arrived, they headed towards the training field where Itachi was already waiting for them. Lucifer, before we start I wanted to ask you something, Itachi. Itachi, and what would that be, Lucifer? Lucifer, well, that would be for you to leave the umbu job since you lose training time, and you won't be able to focus on the mafia. Don't worry about finances since I will cover all your expenses since you will come to live in my house. Itachi just nodded and thus beginning the training. At the end of the afternoon everyone was going to head home, but Itachi stopped Lucifer. Itachi, hey, you still haven't told us where you live. Lucifer, damn, it's true, here. Giving him a card. This is my address. Itachi, seeing the address, was surprised and asked, Itachi, is this the address of the new club that is being built? Lucifer, yes, that is my club, the Lux and... It is already built, we will inaugurate it shortly. Itachi just nodded and went to tell his mother about his new house. After a few hours, the Uchiha family entered the Lux, looking amazed at the club that for them was very futuristic. Lucifer, welcome to the Lux, come with me and I'll show you your rooms. So everyone headed to an elevator that took them to a higher floor where there was a large, very well decorated room. Lucifer proceeded to show him the house/mansion, since inside it was bigger than it looked. Lucifer, well, what do you think? Mikoto, Lucifer, where did you get all the money to build this? Lucifer, I'm a millionaire, this hasn't taken even 1% of everything I have, so don't worry. Mikoto just nodded. This is how the last few months passed to finish the academy where Lux opened its doors, quickly becoming the best club in all the elementary nations. Sasuke had also reached the low Jounin level and Itachi was at the low Kage level by unlocking his Manjikyu Sharingan thanks to Lucifer putting him in an illusion that showed the death of all his beings. Kiba and Shikamaru were at a slightly lower level than Sasuke. Mikoto already knew everything about the supernatural and the mafia, making her dumbfounded by such a revelation. And in the academy nothing had changed, Lucifer the center of attention, Lucifer bucking his classmates, and Lucifer bucking everything that moved around the Lux Club. Right now we were at the academy where everyone was taking a written exam to graduate. Lucifer was the first, accompanied by Sasuke, Kiba and Shikamaru, leaving two brothers enraged because they had once again been surpassed. When they went out to the patio they could see the room with his wife, civilians and parents of the respective shinobi clans. When everyone saw the boys, they were surprised. Sasuke was wearing a white short-sleeved shirt accompanied by a brown hooded jacket. On his neck he wore a necklace with an Uchiha symbol and a tattoo of a red six-pointed star. His pants were black umbu type and his shoes were black sneakers. Kiba was wearing a light gray short-sleeved shirt and a black jacket. On his neck he had a necklace with badges and the same tattoo. His pants and shoes were the same as Sasuke's. Shikamaru wore the same clothes as Boruto, only his pants and shoes were the same as those of the aforementioned two. But what impacted everyone the most was that when they sat in the shade they took out a cigarette and started smoking. Kiba and Shikamaru's mother got angry and had planned that when they finished the test they would have a talk. But one mother didn't seem to care about raising doubts in others, but a certain redhead asked the question everyone wanted to know. Kushina, Mikoto, aren't you going to do anything to stop your son from continuing to smoke? Mikoto, why should I do it? That answer surprised those present. Kushina, but don't you see that they are minor and on top of that they harm their health? The black-haired woman just sighed and responded. Mikoto, when these exams are over they will be adults to kill. Why not also for smoking and drinking? And they also cover their lungs with chakra so as not to damage them. Why do you think Asuma is as healthy as a rose and has been smoking for years? Everyone present remained silent because of the truth that Mikoto told them, making them look at the boys. A few minutes passed where the other students of the academy came out. Iruka explained the tests that would be done. The first would be shooting with kunai and shuriken, the second would be to show a jutsu from the academy or that they had learned on their own, and finally a taijutsu tournament. Thus beginning the test where Lucifer and his friends got a 10 out of 10 in the shuriken test, hurting the pride of Menma and his sister. In the second test Sasuke did a large fireball jutsu leaving everyone surprised by the technique. Kiba did the Fang on Fang Getsuga with Akamaru surprising everyone again, but more so his mother and finally Shikamaru who did the jutsu of shadow strangulation, having the same result on those present for the level. But what was most surprising was Naruto creating an Odama Rasengan of great power, leaving his father speechless and making his brother seethe with anger. Then the tournament arrived, the first girls being the winner of this myth. Then it was the men's turn where Lucifer and his group devastated everyone, until it was Lucifer versus Menma's turn to fight. Lucifer and his brother only went up to the track where the redhead soon opened his mouth. Menma, I'm going to sweep the floor with you, useless. Lucifer, whatever you say, little shit. The aforementioned became enraged and launched himself at the blonde, causing him to dodge him without any problem. This lasted for a few minutes until Lucifer got tired and with his 2 fingers he sent Menma flying against a tree, breaking it by force. Lucifer, I think it happened to me. Phew, it doesn't matter, screw him for being an asshole. Thus being named the winner and later as the winner of the tournament, since the only ones left were his friends and they knew that they could not do anything to him. In the end, everyone went home to rest since tomorrow it will be decided which team they will be on. The next day, Lucifer had a bad feeling and let Makoto know that he was in his chest already awake. Lucifer, damn it, I think today is going to be a very bucked up day. Makoto just looked at him and asked. Makoto, what do you mean? Lucifer, I think the fourth is going to include Kushina as my sensei and one of my brothers as a partner. Makoto, I highly doubt it since Kushina is no longer a shinobi, although that doesn't mean she's weak. But as I was going, I doubt that she isn't sensei, and about your brothers I think that you are right. Lucifer got out of bed next to Makoto and continued to get dressed and go down to the dining room. The whole morning was quiet until they arrived at the academy. Lucifer was sitting next to his friends, but leaving a space on the left side of him. Irika, well guys, as you already know, you have already graduated by being assigned a group with the Jounin sensei. Thus beginning to say all the teams, which are the same only that Menma was on Kiba's team. Until we reach Team 7. Irika, Team 7 is another of the teams that has 4 members who are Sasuke, Mito, Sakura. But he stopped when he heard laughter. Lucifer, ha 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 ha, you've had a chance with Sakura's fangirl, ha 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 ha. May the devil have mercy on you, ha ha ha. Sasuke whispering, you are the devil, asshole. I hope you get to be with your mother as a sensei in your group. Irika, choff choff if you let me finish. But the blonde couldn't stop laughing, making Irika sigh. And the last member, Lucifer Morningstar with your Jounin sensei Kushina. The blonde stopped laughing and made a face of horror. Sasuke, ha 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 ha, now what? Ha 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 ha. Seeing the blonde's horrified face that quickly disappeared into a face of indifference. Lucifer, it doesn't matter if I'm going to ignore them, I don't know why I worry. Taking a shine to most for his sudden change of mood. So all the teams left, leaving Team 7 waiting. Azazel, how are you doing, Lucifer? He looks bored to you. They looked at Azazel, but Mito looked at him with surprise. Lucifer, well, you see Azazel. Looking at the seat next to him that was now occupied by the aforementioned. I'm waiting for my idiot mother who is my Jounin sensei. Azazel, and how are you, Sasuke? He just looked at him and responded lazily. Sasuke, same as Lucifer. The fallen man looked around the room and saw a blonde girl with 2 pigtails. Azazel, so this is your dearest sister? Well, I don't see her with much potential. Only the Kyuubi chakra that is not hers. The aforementioned felt offended by her fall, and she did not take long to reproach him. Myth, what are you talking about, Grandpa? If I wanted to, I would sweep the floor with you. The aforementioned just smiled, taking out his 12 wings and resting her head on his hand, surprising the blonde. Azazel, hee, poor girl, I've lived for centuries and I've never seen someone so stupid. When he was going to continue speaking, he was interrupted by a door opening, showing Kushina and a silver-haired man with hair defying the laws of gravity. Chapter 4. When Kushina left the silver-haired boy, she spoke. Kushina, guys, sorry for the delay, this is a pervert. Pointing at the silver-haired boy. She was having fun reading her book. But hey, we're here now, so she fell silent when she saw Azazel sitting next to Lucifer with an intrigued face. Azazel, don't be shy, continue with your speech, I'm just a friend of Lucifer who has come to visit him. He said, making a gesture with his hands inviting the redhead to continue. Kushina, what are you doing here? And who is it? Azazel, I already told you and my name is Azazel. Lucifer just looked at him, and a small laugh began to form on his face. But well, I have to go, Grigory doesn't lead alone. Lucifer, but how can you be such a liar? Ami, you're not fooling me, what you want is to party, right? The fallen one just smiled. Azazel, how right you are, haha. But you have ruined my facade as an important and respectable man. Lucifer just shrugged. Lucifer, well, apart from coming to visit me, what do you want? The squad just smiled and stood up. Lucifer, well, I wanted to ask you if you could reserve the Lux for Grigory? Everyone was shocked when they found out who was the owner of the famous Lux Club, everyone except Sasuke since he was alive by God. Lucifer, and what do I gain by doing you that favor? She asked as his eyes took on a red hue. Azazel, well, you know that falls are very good in bed and also that we know how to throw good parties. Lucifer, is Penemu coming? Azazel, of course he will come, and he already wants to see you again. I think when you took her to your room for hours she didn't want to see you again. Lucifer, what do you think, Sasuke? He might introduce you to a few falls for your fun, lol. The Raven Man just smiled and quickly accepted the blonde's idea. Azazel, well, I think we have a deal. Lucifer, I think so. By the way, you don't have a fire? Azazel, sure. Taking a lighter out of his pocket. The blonde took out a cigarette, putting it in his mouth, then he stood up to approach Azazel, making him light the lighter and bring it closer to the blonde, thus lighting the cigarette. Azazel, well, I'll leave because I don't want to interrupt your presentations anymore. Thus going down the stairs to pass by the two senseis. Before he came out, Mito interrupted him. Wait, Mom, that man took out some black wings from his back and threatened me. She said at the end with a smile, thinking that her mother was going to beat her up. Kushina, that's true. Looking at the fallen. Azazel, who knows? Maybe yes, or maybe not. He ended up closing the door. Kushina quickly opened the door to face the fallen man but saw absolutely nothing. Lucifer, ha ha ha, damn, Azazel always makes my day. Kakashi was surprised as the blonde appeared next to him without him noticing. Kakashi, out of shock, spoke. Kakashi, is it true that you are the owner of the Lux? Lucifer, well, of course, everything that involves hex, drugs, alcohol, chaos, madness, partying, and of course, more hex, I will be present. Kushina, Naruto, how can you be the owner? Building a construction like this is worth millions. Even with all my money I would keep 50%. Lucifer, first, don't call me Naruto, my name is Lucifer, and second, building that club didn't cost me even 1% of my money. Kakashi, but that's impossible, no one has that much money. Lucifer, please doubt my word. Sasuke, well, doubting your word being Satan, I think it's a very good idea, but on this occasion it's true since we're living with him in the club. Everyone was surprised, but a certain Cyclops spoke. Kakashi, that means that every night you sleep with a different woman. Lucifer, exactly, as I already told you, the dry is my forte. How is any girl going to resist this body? Pointing all over her body with her hands. But well, leaving that aside, now what do we do? Kakashi, well, let's go out to the roof to introduce ourselves. Everyone nodded, heading to the indicated place. When they arrived, they sat down and began to introduce themselves, starting with Kushina. Kushina, hello, my name is Kushina Uzumaki. I like spending time with my children. Lucifer, Claro, and I'm a saint. The redhead could only lower her head a little but continued. Kushina, what I don't like are perverts and arrogant people, and my goal would be for our family to get together again. Lucifer, and he says he doesn't like arrogant people and his children are the first, and in the last I think you will only achieve it in your dreams. Well, what the hell, I'll ask Great Red that you can't dream that yes, I think I will. The redhead only became more depressed. Kakashi, hello, my name is Kakashi, and what I like doesn't interest you. What I don't like are many things, and I had never thought about my dream. He said, leaving everyone a drop of sweat. Lucifer, Kakashi, I can affectionately call you Poop. The aforementioned only had a vein appear on his head, and he responded angrily. Kakashi, if you call me that, I swear you'll wish you were in hell. Lucifer, well, I've been to the underworld and it's nice, so I wouldn't mind. That left most of them stunned by what the blonde said. Sasuke, my name is Sasuke Uchiha, what I like is training and partying with my brother Lucifer. Bumping fists with the aforementioned. What I hate is having nothing to do, and my dream is to be a worthy successor to one of the Mao positions. The others didn't understand the Mao part, but they let it go. Lugo introduced Mito, saying the same thing as her mother, only adding that she loved ramen and that she hated poor Azazel, and that her goal was to be one of the best shinobi. Sakura, My name is Sakura and I like it. Look at Sasuke. What I hate is Lucifer, and the man called Azazel, and my dream is. He looks at Sasuke and blushes. Sasuke thought, I bucking hope they kill her soon. Lucifer, hey, what do you have with poor Azazel? He is a good person. Sakura, how can that guy be a good person? Lucifer, of course he is a good person, he sells cocaine to the children of the academy. How can he be a bad person? Azazel, I heard you, bastard. Lucifer turned with his hands on his head and with a face of astonishment. Lucifer, how the hell did he just do that? He's in the underworld. Well, leaving that aside, that's how it is. Sakura, how is that man supposed to be a good person selling cocaine to children? Lucifer, I don't know what surprises me more, your stupidity, or that you know what cocaine is if it is not yet in the elemental nations. Sakura, kind of stupid. Lucifer, there are how many academies there are in Konoha and how many times you have seen Azazel? Sakura, an idiotic academy and I've only seen it today. Lucifer, well, if you add 1 + 1, you get that Azazel can't sell cocaine at the academy because in his bucking life he's been retarded. Sasuke just started laughing looking at Sakura's face. She was out of her mind. Sakura thoughts, how can I be the smartest in the academy and not have realized it? Lucifer, leaving that aside, now it's my turn. My name is Lucifer Morningstar. I like to buck, drink alcohol, party, screw others, buck and many more things related to evil. What I don't like are liars and my dream. Poof, I don't have one since I'm going to be here until the end of time. I think I'll have time for everything. Those present were no longer surprised by the supposed idiotic things that the blonde said about being Satan and immortal. Kakashi, well guys, tomorrow we will meet at training ground number 7 to do a test. Before he left, Lucifer stopped him. Lucifer, poop, wait. The aforementioned only looked at him in a bad way. I have to talk to you about something. Could you accompany me? The silver-haired man nodded his head. The blonde stood next to Kakashi and Sasuke stood next to Lucifer. Lucifer, well, we can go now. Suddenly, flames enveloped the three, disappearing and leaving a mark of a 6-pointed star on the ground. Club Lux. Lucifer arrived at his mansion where he explained to Kakashi that he wanted him to join his mafia and taught him that the supernatural really existed. She was surprised like everyone else at first, but then she accepted the blonde's proposal. Lucifer, well Kakashi, get ready for the party tonight and also, from now on you will live here until I establish the houses for my members. The aforementioned just nodded and went to his house to bring all of his things to his new temporary home. After a few hours people began to arrive, all of them were fallen. Lucifer, I don't see Penemu, but I do see Ryanair, Calwarner and Mytel? But she's not a minor? Azazel, no, she's 19, she's just short. Lucifer, and flat like a board hee-hee. Azazel, hee-hee, that's a good one, but be careful that I didn't hear you because otherwise you will feel true terror. He said the fallen one with a shudder. When everyone was inside the club, the party began, where drugs and alcohol abounded. You could say that Lucifer was everywhere having a great time. The blonde introduced his friends to some falls that he knew every inch of them. In the end the party ended at 6 in the morning where Sasuke went to a room with Ryanair, Itachi went with Calwarner, Kakashi left with any fall and Lucifer went with Penemu who appeared when Lucifer was with 3 other falls like that making it come together. Thus they fell asleep until 12 noon where Kakashi woke up first looking at the time and getting scared. Chapter 5. In Luxury. Kakashi, damn, it's so late, I think I have to wake up the others otherwise Kushina will start touching our balls. So Kakashi headed towards one of the rooms where when he opened it he saw Sasuke next to Ryanair asleep. Kakashi, and Sasuke, we have to go, he said in a whisper and moving the jet. Sasuke, Kakashi, but you want to wake up, bastard, he said still whispering so as not to wake up the fall. Sasuke, what do you want, poop? Kakashi thought, I swear I'm going to kill that bastard Lucifer. Kakashi, wake up quickly, we have to go to the test. Sasuke, damn it's true and Lucifer? Kakashi, he's probably in his room. Run, get dressed, and let's wake him up. So Sasuke getting dressed and then heading towards the blonde's room. When they opened the door, they saw Lucifer surrounded by 4 girls, but one of them was hugging her chest. Kakashi, what a son of a bitch, he takes everyone he wants. Well, let's not get off topic. Thus approaching the blonde. PSSS, Lucifer gets up, we have to go. Receiving the same result as Sasuke. Sasuke, damn, you don't leave me any other option. Lucifer, your mother is at your house and she's coming to look for you. The blonde's eyes suddenly widened and he didn't take long to speak. Lucifer, don't buck with me, I can't even get rid of her in my house. But she fell silent when she saw his 2 companions in front of him. What the hell are you doing in my room, and why are you telling me that my mother is in my house? Kakashi, we have to go, there are 5 minutes left until the test starts. Lucifer, don't worry, nothing's wrong. Go to sleep. Sasuke, how can you be so calm when we're about to miss a test? Lucifer, well, because I can stop time. Snapping his fingers, he saw how everything turned gray and everything stopped. Kakashi and Sasuke were surprised by the blonde's skill. Sasuke, damn. Is there anything you can't do? Lucifer, yes, of course there is something I can't do. Kakashi, and what would that be? Lucifer, sleep peacefully when I have 2 assholes in my room bothering me. A drop of sweat fell on the aforementioned 2 as they left the room. A few hours later. Lucifer, damn, now let's do a shit test. Penemu, and why don't you stay with us a little longer and then take the test? Lucifer, I would very much like to stay, but I can't keep time paralyzed for long. Penemu, what a shame, and me thinking that after so long I could be with you. Lucifer, well, why don't you come live here? Nobody stops you. Penemu could only smile and did not lack time to create a magic circle and go to Grigory to get his things. After he left, Lucifer went out to the dining room, seeing everyone already awake. Mikoto, it seems like you had a good time last night, right? He said, looking at his 2 sons. Sasuke, Mom, please, it's already uncomfortable that Lucifer is with you, don't start this now. Mikoto, or come on, there's nothing wrong. He responded with a smile. Lucifer, well, let's leave the topic of who I buck with and who I don't. Get ready since we're leaving and we have to talk about things, you 2 Itachi. Those mentioned nodded and went to prepare. When everyone was ready, they began to head towards field number 7. Lucifer, well, since we're all here, I'll tell you what we'll do. But he was interrupted by the older Uchiha. Itachi, sorry for interrupting you. But why are all the people paralyzed and everything looks gray? Lucifer, that's because I stopped time, but leaving that aside, I will continue with my explanation. How was I saying our first move to let us know how the Mafia will screw those of the Civil Council? Kakashi, how are we going to do that? Lucifer, simple, we are going to take away from them what they have been accumulating for years. Their precious money, hee. Sasuke, and how are we going to do it? Lucifer, damn, does it have to be given to you all chewed up? It's obvious with a bank robbery and just stealing the council's money. Itachi, I suppose you have the number of the civilian boxes? Itachi asked Lucifer calmly. Lucifer, yes, I already have the suits, the masks, and the weapons. Sasuke, get ready as shinobi will have to be killed. Kakashi, apart from the fact that we are going to a bank to rob and that it is crazy. Why do we have to kill shinobi? Do you know they have a family? Lucifer, don't worry, everything is planned, and don't worry about the shinobi. I have asked Azazel to take care of it, so that we just kill those who harm the village. Sasuke, how do they harm the village? Lucifer, you know they abuse their power, accept bribes, or are with the civil council and their legal things. Kakashi, okay, but how is Azazel going to get certain shinobi to confront us? Lucifer, easy and alternate dimension. Everyone will see as if nothing will happen, but those who harm the village will see how we steal. Of course, things get complicated. Thus they continued talking about the robbery that they would soon carry out until they reached the field. Lucifer, well, it's time. So he snapped his fingers and everything returned to normal. Kushina and her daughter were surprised as Kakashi, Sasuke, and Lucifer suddenly appeared in front of them as if they appeared out of nowhere. Itachi had already gone to train in another field. Lucifer, well, we're here now. What the buck test do we have to do? Kushina, well, you have to fight Kakashi and remove the bells. Kakashi, sorry, but they have already passed my test since they always work as a team, and it would be foolish to give Mito the test. Kushina, okay, then I'll give you my proof. My test consists of a combat to evaluate your skills and decide if you are suitable. Thus beginning the test where Lucifer and Sasuke sat in the shade of a tree while they smoked watching Mito fight. The aforementioned put up a decent fight even though it was approved. Then it was Sasuke's turn, who gave Kushina a lot of problems since even if he had the Jounin level he couldn't against an elite one. Kushina at the end of the match was surprised by the level, and she quickly approved it, causing Mito to be angered by being surpassed again. Kushina, Naruto, your turn. The aforementioned just sighed and headed towards the center of the field, where his former mother was waiting for him. Lucifer, how many times do I have to tell you that my name is Lucifer? Are you deaf or do you have the memory of a fish? Well, let's get started since I'm looking forward to getting home. Kushina, why do you want to get home? She asked somewhat curiously, ignoring that her son had insulted her. Lucifer, obviously, I have 4 girls waiting for me in bed yet. I think there are 5 if Mikoto joins us. Kushina, like 4 girls in your bed and 5 with Mikoto? She asked somewhat doubtfully, wanting it not to be what she thought. Lucifer, damn, everything has to be given to you on a plate, or what? Well, it's obvious that I'm going to buck them. Kushina, no, my son is not going to be corrupted by those whores. Naruto, tell me where those damn things are so I can give them what they deserve for trying to take away my son's innocence, he exclaimed, full of anger. Lucifer, first, I am not your son. Second, what right do you have to order me around? Third, they are not whores. And finally, who says this is my first time? The blonde answered at the end with a sly smile. Kushina, how is this not your first time? Scared by her son's response. Lucifer, of course it's not my first time. I've already slept with many women when I was 8 years old. Now that I think about it, I still haven't slept with anyone from this village, only Mikoto and of course some other villagers. She said the last thoughtfully without paying attention to her mother's reaction. Kushina, what did you do with Mikoto? That's impossible. Mikoto is one of my best friends and I know her very well, and I know you're lying. Lucifer, Sasuke, the blonde shouted, making the Uchiha look at him. Am I with your mother, or yes or no? Sasuke, unfortunately yes. He responded by glaring at the blonde. He just looked at Kushina again. Lucifer, I think I know Mikoto more thoroughly than you, the blonde said with a mocking smile. Kushina, that's impossible. She responded almost in a whisper. Lucifer, when you see her, if you want, ask her. And now let's start. Thus launching himself against the redhead. She was unable to react, and was hit in the face, followed by a kick that hit her side, sending her away from her. She got up with some difficulty, but when she looked up she saw her son in front of her. Lucifer, you can't defeat the devil. Thus hitting the woman's head with her finger, sending her against a tree, causing it to break. Lucifer, what a waste of time. I hope the missions are more interesting. The blonde and his companion were about to leave, but someone stopped them. Myth, what did you do to Mom? He said with hatred directed at the blonde. Lucifer, I just left her unconscious. What do you want me to do to her? If she's weak, it's not my fault. Mito became angrier and tried to attack Lucifer, but he extended his hand, causing the blonde to start floating. Myth, what are you doing? Lucifer, just give you a reminder that you don't play with Satan. Thus lowering her hand, causing the girl to crash against the ground forcefully, leaving her unconscious. Kakashi, I think you went a little too far, don't you think? Lucifer, calm down, think that it doesn't go beyond the ground. Kakashi and Sasuke's sweat dropped at the joke the blonde made. Well, now we are taking advantage of the situation. Thus heading towards the unconscious Myth. Turning her over and lifting her shirt, he could see a seal. Lucifer, how was this done? So, placing his hand in the center of the seal and concentrating, he felt a pull and then seemed to be in some sewers. Myth's subconscious. Lucifer, wow, how enjoyable it is to live here. So he started walking for a few minutes, until he found a huge fable with a piece of paper that said seal in the center of the door. Lucifer looking at the seal. Wow, how ingenious to put a seal on a piece of paper. What it does is seal something wav, he said with sarcasm in his voice. Chapter 6. Myths Subconscious. Lucifer, are you going out or what? I have things to do and they are important. From the darkness, two eyes opened, showing that they were red and striped in the shape of a feline. They approached the cage, revealing a huge fox with orange fur and 9 tails. QB, wow, you're the second person who comes to visit me. What do you want, human? Lucifer, a human? Where? Looking everywhere with a doubtful face. QB, I'm telling you, idiot. The blonde just looked at him, and with a strange face he pointed at himself. Lucifer, yo? QB, of course, idiot, there's no one else in this fucking place. Lucifer, me? A human? Ha 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 ha, how funny. That's strange to the beast, but when he was going to speak he was interrupted. Lucifer, this seems human to you, he said as a red and black aura was expelled from his body and he was expected to create a mask and a hole in his chest and his hair grew. The fox could only fall to the ground due to the tremendous power that the blonde released. It was a totally dark, corrupted power that even surpassed the evil of the aura that the fox itself gave off. QB, but how can a person release such an amount of power? She said, trying to stand up. The walls began to crack and the floor began to rise. With a deafening scream he expelled his aura, suddenly causing an explosion of smoke where the blonde was lost. The fox stood up as the pressure had stopped being felt. But when he raised his head he could see the smoke clearing, revealing a white humanoid being with black lines that centered on a hole in his chest. His hair was orange and reached his waist. Around his ankles and wrists he wore a kind of red plumage. He was wearing a gloomy mask of white and black lines with 2 horns. The fox was shocked to see the new form of the blonde before. When he composed himself he was going to speak but fell silent when he saw how the creature turned its head to look him in the eyes. The fox only shuddered at the look. The eyes of that beast reflected darkness and absolute evil, making QB feel indescribable terror when he saw that gaze focused on him. Lucifer looked at him for a few seconds until he spoke with a dark voice. Lucifer, do you think I'm a human now? The fox could only nod as he backed away. Lucifer, well, for your information, I am Lucifer, the king of all the underworld and hell, and this is my demonic form. When the fox heard who he was, he became more terrified and bowed quickly. QB, I'm sorry Lucifer-sama for my lack of respect. If he allows me the question, what brings you to this place? She said. She stammered. Lucifer, there is no need for so many formalities, so raise your head. The fox obeyed and watched as his demonic form dissolved, showing the blonde again. Lucifer, besides, I'm not one of those who wants absolute respect or anything like that. If not, I rather prefer to party and have a good time, so don't be scared or treat me like a king, but like a friend, okay? The fox just nodded and asked again. QB, and what is Lucifer doing in this place? Lucifer, easy, and come to get you out of the seal that has you locked in my sister's stomach. At first you will be sealed in me so that you can take your human form and recover your chakra, and then you can leave. The kitsune was only amazed and quickly agreed. In the real world, those present saw how a red chakra came out of myth and entered the blonde's body. Lucifer, that's it. Now we are going home, we have things to do. Sasuke, it seems like you've already taken Mito's QB away, right? The blonde just smiled and headed home. Kakashi, I think that's a yes. So the two followed the blonde. When they arrived, Lucifer found Makoto talking to Penemu animatedly. Lucifer, it seems like they're having a good time without me, right? The two women saw the blonde with a smile and then kissed him. Penemu, I've already moved my things. Now we can have fun, she said with a mischievous smile. Lucifer, I would like nothing more than that, but I have things to do. The purple-haired girl just pouted. Lucifer, but don't worry, for the night we will have all the fun you want, she said, looking at the two. Lucifer, by the way, has Itachi arrived? When the black-haired girl was about to speak, someone interrupted her. Itachi, I'm here, so stop planning for the night and let's focus on what we're going to do now. A few minutes later. At the bank. Kakashi, is everything ready? Lucifer, sure. He responded by making everyone put on a mask. Dallas/Lucifer. Chain/Sasuke. Hoxton/Kakashi. Wolf/Itachi. Kakashi, hey Dallas, I understand about the masks, but why do we have to rob with suits? Lucifer, because you always have to dock with style. They all got a drop on the back of their necks and decided to ignore it. Itachi, okay, remember not to draw attention to yourself. Itachi fell silent when he saw Lucifer, shotgun in hand, heading to the main entrance, and after a shot he burst open the door and entered, shooting a shinobi who was there as a guard, flying his head. Lucifer, having a bunch of bastards all the bucking world on the ground, this is a bucking robbery. Kakashi, but what the buck? He didn't say it would be stealth? Itachi, wait, look. Kakashi did as requested and spoke. Kakashi, he's releasing killer instincts so that those who might raise the alarm don't activate it. Everyone nodded and headed inside the bank, beginning to drill into the camera. Lucifer, hey, how much he has left? He said boredly as he was crouched down bothering a civilian. Sasuke, shut up, he still has 10 minutes left. He responded irritatedly since every 5 minutes of the 40 minutes, he had asked him. Lucifer, damn. But he stopped when he saw a red button under one of the tables. Lucifer, hey guys, I found a red button under the table. Maybe I'll have the camera. Everyone turned around with horrified faces. Itachi, don't even think about touching it, but it was too late. The blonde touched the button, causing the blinds to lower and an alarm to start ringing. Lucifer, UPS, I think there wouldn't be the camera, she said with a smile on her face that was covered by the mask. Sasuke, you did it on purpose, right? The blonde just got up and took out a speaker from a backpack and played music. Everyone stared at him, but they were surprised by what he came up with next. It was an MG4 light machine gun. Sasuke, Dallas, how the hell did that bug fit in that backpack? The blonde continued without responding, placing the machine gun on a table pointing at the door. Lucifer, it's time to have fun, hee. Sasuke, so you activated the alarm on purpose? He said with a sigh. Lucifer, very well, now everyone to your positions. After a few minutes a smoke bomb exploded at the entrance, blinding those inside to what was happening outside. Everyone prepared for the assault as the music increased the pace. Everyone already knowing that it was the work of Lucifer, and that when the music would increase to the maximum it would be the moment of the assault, and so on. Suddenly some kunais went everywhere. Lucifer raised a kind of metal shield from his weapon blocking the kunais, while the others protected themselves with the tables or some cover. After a few seconds, shadows began to appear and quickly approached. Lucifer just waited with a smile until they arrived. It only took a few seconds for the party to start. After the kunais stopped, about 20 shinobi entered through the door but were surprised by a hail of bullets from the blonde, causing them to be completely eradicated. Lucifer did not stop shooting outside, but that did not distract his companions who were guarding different entry points. Kakashi saw more shinobi enter, causing him to open fire on them, forcing us to take cover. The blonde had already spent all the bullets, throwing away the weapon that was disappearing and grabbing his AK-47 and heading to a hallway. Suddenly an umbu appeared from a duct and crashed against the wall with a kick from the blonde. Taking advantage of that, he shot him at point-blank range, leaving him sitting with several holes all over his body. Turning the corner, the blonde shot, killing 5 other shinobi and then threw his weapon into the air while the empty magazine flew. He quickly took out a Desert Eagle to kill those who were entering with headshots. After killing them he put away his gun, grabbing his gun to catch a magazine thrown by Sasuke and reload it. Kakashi exchanged with Lucifer, making him go to the main entrance, where he slid along the floor while he shot, killing more shinobi to get to the other side. Once on the other side he pushed a jounin aside, causing Itachi, who was behind him, to shoot him in the head, killing him instantly. This continued for 10 minutes until the vault opened, leaving the 4 of them free. How lucky they were that the gate didn't come out. Anyone who has played Payday will understand. The younger Uchiha wasted no time in opening the deposits that were part of the civilian council with a radio, putting the money in a bag. Lucifer, Chains, we're leaving quickly. He just nodded, leaving a note in the center of the chamber. Quickly, during the break of one of the assaults, the four of them went outside shooting anyone who crossed them. Itachi entered an alley where he uncovered a sewer where they entered, thus losing the shinobi. A few minutes later they appeared at the back of the Lux. Making sure that no one was there, they entered and went up to the second floor, where the two women were already waiting for them. Sitting in the living room watching the television that Lucifer had brought for entertainment. Mikoto, wow, it looks like you four had a good time. Lucifer, you can't even imagine it. Leaving the bag on the center table, an action that the other three copied. Lucifer, it seems that Azazel recorded everything and transmitted it through everything supernatural, he. What would God think about Azazel? Azazel, ha ha ha, the old man will only give you a lecture as always, ha ha ha. Lucifer, yes you are right, ha ha ha. By the way, how much do we have in total? Itachi, I estimate about 5 million. Lucifer, and you will think that that is a small portion of what they have. But they should hope that soon everything will disappear, he. Chapter 7. In luxury. Lucifer was already prepared with Kakashi and Sasuke for his first mission, thus setting off to the Hokage Tower. Once everyone arrived, they entered the tower where a receptionist was smiling when she saw Lucifer. They entered without any problem, entering the office as respectfully as possible. Lucifer, I've already arrived and I want a mission where I can kill. I screamed as he kicked the door open. Everyone stared at him, but a certain blonde looked at him in a bad way. Lucifer, what's wrong? Are you angry about yesterday? He asked the blonde with a smile, making her angrier. Myth, you damn useless, why can't I use the power of the nine-tailed beast? He asked with barely contained anger, leaving his parents surprised since it was impossible that he couldn't use that power. Lucifer, you can't use it since I took it away from you, so you can see that without that power you're just trash. Kushina, that's impossible. If you had removed it, she would be dead. Lucifer, please, you are doubting Satan's capabilities, he said as bubbling chakra erupted from his body and his eyes shifted to Kyuubi's. This left everyone surprised as it was impossible for anyone to survive a Biju extraction. Minato, Naruto, you know that you have endangered your sister's life, and not only that but also the village, since the fox could have escaped. He said, something furious at the recklessness his son had committed. Lucifer, once again I am not your son and I don't care about the health of Myth or Menma. I rather care about 3 fields full of shit, what happens to them. As if they died, the only thing I can do is laugh at their pathetic lives. And finally the Kyuubi would not dare to disobey me since I am a superior entity to him. And now give us a bucking mission or I'm out of here. Minato was going to reply but stopped when he saw Lucifer's look. Minato, okay, I'll give you a mission, but then you'll come to my office to talk seriously. Lucifer just ignored him. Minato, I have a C rank mission which is to escort a bridge builder to Nami no Kumi. Lucifer, perfect, I want to get there and see what the women there are like, he. Kushina got a vein on her forehead because of her son's comments. A few moments later an old drunk appeared who reeked quite a bit of alcohol. Tazuna, hey, couldn't you change the blonde girl? Kushina, why do you say that? Tazuna, you and the men look like ninjas, but that girl looks like a walking target in that orange suit. The aforementioned only got angry and she went to hit the old man, but her mother stopped her. Kushina, don't worry, she is my daughter and the Hokage's daughter, don't worry, I assure you that she is qualified. She responded with another vein on her forehead. Lucifer, today, man, how are the women there? The builder just looked at him and gave him a perverted look. Tazuna, well, the ones in Konoha are better, but the ones in my town are some very pretty ones. Lucifer could only smile and walk out the door. Lucifer, perfect, see you in an hour at the exit door. Before anyone can claim the blonde is gone. Kakashi, shit, now we have to hurry up to get ready Sasuke, since Lux is going to buck up. The Raven Man only nodded and in a few seconds they began to run, leaving a trail of smoke wherever they went. An hour later. Everyone was already at the door, the only one missing was Lucifer. Myth, it will be useless, he says for an hour and then arrives whenever he feels like it. Lucifer, I said I would see you in an hour, and he appeared after an hour. Everyone turned to see the blonde wearing a black outfit with a white ribbon that was tied around his waist. He also wore some kind of flip-flops and white bandages on his feet. But what was most surprising was seeing a huge black and white handleless sword. Kakashi, Lucifer, what the hell are you doing dressed up and why are you reducing your power? Lucifer, well, I dress like this because it is my combat clothing and I reduce my power since that way I have more fun with my opponents. So everyone's starting to walk. After a few minutes they passed by a puddle. The only thing I didn't notice was a trap, which was a myth. From one moment to the next, two renegade ninjas attacked the senseis, killing them. Seeing his mother die, Mito was left in a state of shock. One of the brothers rushed towards Lucifer, cutting his chest with his cards, but to his surprise he did not even flinch, but rather took out his sword and with one quick cut decapitated the brother. Sasuke fought the other, quickly leaving him unconscious. Kushina, very good guys, I had done very well, except your myth, you have to stand firm. Upon hearing her voice, Mito came out of the trance and reproached her mother for the scare she gave him. Kushina, well, now it's time to question the brothers. Lucifer, I doubt one of them can speak. Kushina, what do you mean, looking at her son who had his back turned. Lucifer, well, he's lost his mind, look. He responded by turning around with his head in one hand. That made Mito's stomach turn. Myth, that you have written that it is useless how you can kill someone and remain calm like that. Lucifer, it's not that big of a deal once you get used to it, and besides in the ninja world it's kill or be killed, you thought the enemies would just knock you unconscious. Ha day, what a mate. Thus limping the jaw of the deceased brother. And changing his voice to make it sound like he was talking. Lucifer, of course friend, you are a stupid girl who probably thought this world was a field of roses. Poor naive girl, you will only end up dead or graped. After speaking, Lucifer began to have a conversation with his head. But a certain redhead got scared. Kushina, Naruto, you have been cut with claws on your chest, we have to take you to the village so they can extract the poison. The aforementioned just looked at her with indifference. Lucifer, screw it, you don't listen when I talk or what? Since I am immortal, this has not bothered me at all. Kushina, don't be stupid and stop saying stupid things. The blonde just sighed and showed his rapidly regenerating chest. Lucifer, you see it, and now you go bother someone else. With that said, the blonde headed towards Tazuna. Lucifer, man, I don't give a shit that you lied to us, but at least tell me why. So he tells everything that happens in Nami and that he wanted to end the cat's tyranny, and blah blah blah. So everyone agrees to continue with the mission. They had been walking for a few hours and nothing was happening until a huge sword suddenly came towards the group, causing everyone to fall to the ground. Zabuza, wow, look, we have here Kakashi the copy ninja and the bloody habanera. Lucifer, and you are one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist Momochi Hake. Everyone turned to look at Lucifer while Zabuza had a vein popping out on his forehead. Zabuza, it's Zabuza, you idiot, and who are you? The blonde just shrugged and responded. Lucifer, my name is Lucifer, king of hell and underworld, and I will friendly call you Hake. Zabuza, I shit on your bucking mother, my name is Zabuza. Lucifer, well, if you shit on my bucking mother, she's in front of you. She said as if it was nothing. Zabuza, how? But she couldn't continue speaking as Kakashi hit her, thus passing the original story, only that it would also trap Kushina. Lucifer, well guys, protect the builder and observe, he said as he pulled the sword out of him. Zabuza, do you plan to fight alone? Lucifer did not respond, he just placed his sword horizontally and said, Lucifer, yes, Getsuga Tensho, causing a red and black energy to come out in the shape of a blade, forcing Zabuza to release the prisoners from him. Lucifer wasted no time and began fighting Zabuza in a sword fight, where Lucifer was dominating him without problems. This lasted for a few minutes until an umbu supposedly killed Zabuza and took him away. Lucifer, well, it's been fun, now let's get to the old man's house, I want to see what the girls are like. A drop of sweat fell on everyone except for a blonde who had more and more resentment towards the blonde. After a few minutes they arrived at the builder's house where they were greeted by a woman, who ended up sleeping with Lucifer, thus not letting the others sleep. The next day Kushina decided to train Mito since Kakashi offered to train the others. In the end Lucifer was the one who surrounded the two, but Kushina didn't know that. When night came everyone was having dinner until a boy appeared giving his speech that Lucifer thought was shit. Lucifer, hey, you little trash, if you continue with that attitude, you will be under the tyranny of a cat for the rest of your life. If your father died I don't give a shit, but at least instead of giving up and trampling on his dream of freeing Nami, why the hell don't you make it a reality? Lucifer said with a serious face that he rarely showed, making the boy only cry more. Lucifer, well, I'm going to go for a walk and then I'll come back, he said as he left the house in his usual attire. He was just walking until he saw a brothel and decided to have a little fun. At 5 in the morning the blonde came out adjusting his suit. Lucifer, those women really know how to do their job. And now what do I do? Well, it doesn't matter, I'm going to buck off a little and get lost somewhere. So she began to walk through the town until she entered a forest where she saw a person picking flowers. Lucifer, hey hello, how's Zabuza doing? The person just got alert and took out some needles and threw them at the blonde, stabbing them. Lucifer, damn, it hurts. Seeing that the blonde didn't fall, he threw more at him, but it was the same result. Haku, how can you stay alive if I have hit you in vital points? He said, quite scared. Lucifer, because I am Satan and in this world I am immortal, so stop throwing more needles because they hurt, you know. Chapter 8. Lucifer and Haku were looking at each other until one broke the silence. Lucifer, well, now that you have calmed down I can talk to you calmly. Haku, and what do you want to talk about? Lucifer, simple. I want Zabuza to join my little mafia, and if he joins he will have money to finance the rebellion. Haku was thoughtful for a few moments, but snapped out of his thoughts when Lucifer spoke again. Lucifer, from what I see you are collecting medicinal plants. How about I help you and then you let me talk to Zabuza? Haku, okay, but the slightest movement against Zabuza will kill you. Lucifer could only smile, and snapping his fingers he filled the basket with the necessary supplies. Haku, how did you do that? Lucifer, I already told you, I am Satan and I can do whatever I want in the human world. Thus they began to walk in an uncomfortable silence for Haku, but he broke that silence by asking something that he had in mind. Haku, hey, your team won't worry that you've disappeared? Lucifer, let me think. Meanwhile in the house of Tazuna. Kushina, Kakashi, where is Naruto? He left a long time ago, and hasn't returned. Kakashi looked up from his book and looked lazily at the redhead. Kakashi, don't worry, Lucifer can take care of himself. He responded lazily to return to his reading. Kushina, seeing that, got angry and retorted. Kushina, how can you be so calm? Something may have happened to him. Kakashi didn't answer. That made Kushina angrier, but his anger increased when he saw that Kakashi was reading the Aika. Kushina, Kakashi, what did I tell you to read that book in my presence? He said in a dangerous manner, as his hair rose like the 9 tails of the Kyuubi. Kakashi, Kushina, I'm not reading the Aika, look. He responded by pointing to the cover of the book, showing that it was just any book. Kushina relaxed and left the room to look for her son. Meanwhile, Kakashi looked up from his book and looked from side to side, making sure that no one was there. After making sure, he stretched the cover of the book to show an orange one underneath the old one, implying that it was a false cover. Calm, Lucifer. Lucifer, now we'll be fine. Haku just nodded and they continued on their way. When they stopped, Lucifer saw a mansion where they entered and then went to a room. Haku, I've become Zabuza-sama. The aforementioned raised his head to see his tool with the medicinal handles. Zabuza, yes, it took you a little while. How is that? Haku just sat next to her and responded calmly. Haku, I received help. Zabuza, whose? Lucifer, he received help from me. It is not strange that, being my enemy, I would help you. By the way, hello? He said, walking through the door calmly. Zabuza, Lucifer, he said, narrowing his eyes. Lucifer, hey, he responded, imitating Zabuza's action. Zabuza, my name is Zabuza. Lucifer, yes, whatever you say. I have come to propose something to you. Zabuza, and what would that proposal be? I asked with some caution. Lucifer, easy, I come to propose you join my mafia. Zabuza, and how would that benefit me? Lucifer, well, I would finance the rebellion and help in it. Zabuza, and how can I trust you? Lucifer just snapped his fingers again and a briefcase appeared next to Zabuza. He opened it, and was surprised by its contents. Lucifer, since you have a small advance, it's 5 million, and you can trust it more since I want to sleep with the leader. They say she is very pretty, she said with a smile. Zabuza, okay, but at the slightest hint of betrayal, don't hesitate and I will kill you. And I wish you luck when it comes to sleeping with May. Lucifer, well, welcome to you from the devil inside. Thank you for helping me name the Mafia Shiro 113. Now I will introduce you to the members. Thus, snapping his fingers again, causing magic circles to appear on the ground from which Kakashi, Sasuke, Itachi and the leaders emerged. Kakashi, why did you call us Lucifer? Lucifer, well, it was to introduce you to the new member of our beloved Mafia, and also to plan another little thing. Michael, if you have called us for things about your Mafia, what am I doing here? You know I don't agree with that. Lucifer, I have called you to teach the new member the supernatural. So Lucifer explaining about demons, fallen ones and angels having the same reaction as everyone. Then he explained that they would kill Cat and then keep Nami to have a base of operations and a source of income. Kakashi, well, now that everything is resolved, I hope you have done something so that others do not find out about our absence. Lucifer, of course it's all under control. At Tazuna's house. Kushina was entering the room after her failed search to run into two figures. Lucifer, yes, it's impossible for them to notice, and now let's go, I'm hungry. Thus everyone creating magic circles to leave, leaving Haku and Zabuza alone. Lucifer and his companions had arrived at the house and were preparing to enter. Once inside they headed towards the dining room where they saw Kushina waiting for them. Kushina, Kakashi, Sasuke, where have you been? She said angrily, showing the two dolls. Those mentioned only looked at Lucifer to come across a note on the ground. Use. Wow, I didn't expect you to realize it. It seems to make good sense. Well, I'm getting off topic. I wanted to thank you since Kushina has not noticed me, and so I won't have to put up with her questions. Kakashi just frowned, and cursing Lucifer had to endure Kushina's reprimand alongside Sasuke. 2 days had already passed, and we can see Lucifer with Azazel, Surzex, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Itachi. Lucifer, well, everything is ready to attack the Cat Mansion, he said as he saw about 40 men in SWAT gear. Lucifer, it's ironic that a group that is part of the underworld police and Grigory is part of a mafia. Surzex, you know very well that they are not the police. They only wear those clothes because you like them, and this type of police does not exist here. Lucifer, also, but it's still ironic. Well, we begin the assault. Thus Lucifer putting on the same clothing with Azazel and the others except Surzex. Lucifer, hey Azazel, are you coming too? Azazel, sure, it will be fun. You don't join Surzex? Surzex, I don't have things to do, maybe next time. Thus going through a magic circle. Lucifer, how bland it is, but what are you going to do? Let's start. Thus dividing into 4 groups with each of them a leader, being Azazel, Sasuke, Kakashi and Lucifer. Thus each one entering from one side of the mansion. From outside we could only hear shots and screams that stopped in a few minutes. Azazel, well, this is the door where the cat is, how do we do it? Lucifer, easy, just watch and learn. So he blew up the door and then came in screaming. Lucifer, I'll charge you a dog. Azazel and the others were sweating when they saw the entrance of the blonde and his team. Lucifer, well, we have it now, we just need to loot it and give the villagers everything we find, and we will use this mansion as a base. Azazel, where the hell did you get the helicopter from? Lucifer, it's a secret, and now let's go. Everyone nodded and looted everything, and then headed to the town with Gato. When they arrived, they handed over Gato along with his belongings and informed the people that he would be the leader. The villagers accepted since they would have protection and someone who would not warn them like Gato. Lucifer, well, it's done now, we just need to call Razor and his sister to support the town. Azazel, and why Razor's sister? Lucifer, simple, Razor is terrible at finances, while his sister is very good. Azazel nodded and prepared to leave. Instead, Lucifer and his companions headed towards the Tazuna house with a new member. When they arrived at the house and introduced Zabuza, poor Tazuna almost had a heart attack, while on the other hand Mito and Kushina were on guard. Lucifer, are you seriously idiots or what? We come together with Zabuza and you think they are going to attack you. Kushina and Mito left their fighting stance but were still tense. Kushina, what is Zabuza doing here? Lucifer, well, Gato is dead and since he no longer follows his orders we are not enemies, and I decided that he could join the village. Kushina nodded. Kakashi, Zabuza, you see upstairs that there is a free room for you to recover from your injuries. Kushina, Kakashi, there is no free room. Sasuke, there is Kushina and that is Lucifer's. Kushina, but if he stays in Naruto's room, where will he sleep? Lucifer, Kushina, in the time we have been in this house, I have not set foot in that room. Kushina, and then where have you slept all this time? I asked, quite surprised. Lucifer, I slept in Tsunami's room. Even though we haven't slept at night, we haven't slept, but oh well. Kushina Akripa looked at the woman badly, which he did not care about, ignoring her. Lucifer, Kushina, what's the matter that you're jealous? Is it that Minato doesn't please you or doesn't have what it takes? He asked with a smile and narrowing his fingers, hinting at Minato's size. Kushina turned red as she didn't like to talk about such topics. Tsunami, oh I see, so you don't have what it takes, he said she while letting out a small laugh. Tsunami, what a pity. Lucifer meets all of them. Lucifer meets all the requirements. I would even say that he surpasses them. Kushina only turned redder and left the room to go to her room. Tazuna, hey Tsunami, I understand that you have a partner and women talk about certain things with each other, but you couldn't do it in private? I am your father. The aforementioned only blushed since she said it without thinking. Meanwhile, Lucifer was sitting smoking and drinking next to Sasuke. Sasuke, hey Lucifer, what are you doing with the rebellion? Lucifer, easy, after this mission we will head towards Kirigakure as members of the Devil Within. Chapter 9. At Tazuna's house everyone had already had dinner, even though Kushina was still a little uncomfortable about the topic recently discussed. Lucifer, well, I'm going to the room because I have to do things, so I'll leave you to your shit. Everyone looked at him as he climbed the stairs. Tazuna, this boy is like that or he does it on purpose to annoy. Azazel, it didn't come like that from the factory. Everyone looked surprised at the fallen man who suddenly appeared on Naruto's chair. Azazel, by the way, hello duck-ass scarecrow, hake, tomato, arrogant lady, drunk old man and hello Tsunami. Sasuke/Kakashi/Zabuza, hello old fallen man. They responded a little irritated by the acquired nickname, since everyone had a nickname. Tazuna, who are you and how did you get in? Azazel, I am a friend of Lucifer and I come to inform him of something. Lucifer, and what would that be? Asked the blonde who was back in the room. Only Sasuke was on the floor and Lucifer was sitting in his chair. Kushina, Tazuna and Mito were surprised to see the blonde again, since they didn't even notice his presence. Azazel, well, they have arrived. Lucifer just nodded and disappeared again, leaving Sasuke in his chair again. Azazel, well, I'll leave. But when he was going to leave, he was arrested. Kushina, hey, you at the academy, my daughter told me that you threatened her. I'll ask you again. It's true. He asked as a dark aura covered her, and her hair stood up. Azazel, what a nuisance of a woman. No, I didn't threaten her. It's just that your daughter is used to being right and now go to hell and let me go. So he is disappearing in the same way as Lucifer. Calm Lucifer. He had placed himself in the lotus position, thus entering his subconscious. Lucifer, little fox, where are you? Pish pish, come little fox, pish pish. The blonde had sat down with a smile and acted as if he were calling a cat. Suddenly QB appeared with an angry face. QB, I'm not a bucking cat. The blonde only smiled more as he stood up. Lucifer, but why have you come? The fox just looked at him in a bad way, but he stayed silent. Lucifer, well, first of all I'm going to change this place, and then talk seriously. So I changed the place to a meadow with a normal-sized house. The blonde began walking towards her, being interrupted. QB, the landscape is very good, but why do you put a house? Lucifer, well, to speak more calmly. QB, and how do you plan to get there? Lucifer, please, I'm Satan. I know everything that happens in the human world, little fox. So he is entering the house, leaving QB outside. After a few seconds, the door opened again, showing a woman. She sat down and looked at the blonde. Lucifer, well, since you are in your human form, could you tell me your name? QB, didn't you say you knew everything? The now bitch asked sarcastically. Lucifer, I know most, since it's not that I love looking person by person who they are and their tastes. QB, my name is Ari. I'm not good with names, much less inventing characters, so I'm sorry for the creativity. Lucifer, nice name, but apart from that I come to tell you that when we are on the way to Konoha I will take you out of the seal and I will pretend that I have found you. The kitsune just nodded and watched as the blonde got up and left the house. Out of curiosity, she came out of this to be shocked when she saw a huge dragon. Lucifer, hey Great Red, can you do me a favor? Great Red, and what would that be, Lucifer? The blonde jumped onto the dragon's head and then responded. Lucifer, well, I would like you to explain to him what I have planned in the Arhai dreams that my brother has. And by the way, use my human form to tell him. Great Red, and why do I have to acquire your form? El Rubio just smiled and then spoke. Lucifer, well, I think he would be scared if he saw a huge dragon, and I also think he would be happy if he saw a man like me, don't you think? He asked as she smiled more. The dragon just sighed. Great Red, okay, but just so as not to scare her, if it were the latter, don't doubt that I wouldn't do it. Lucifer, well, I say goodbye. Thus leaving her mind, leaving the dragon and Ari alone. Great Red, well, I'll say goodbye too. I have things to do. Thus opening a gap to then enter it and disappear next to it. The kitsune was left alone with a face of my understanding nothing. In the real world. Lucifer stepped out of his landscape to look at the time and see that only 5 minutes had passed. Lucifer, buck, only 5. And now what do I do? I think I'm going to go out for a while, he said the last thing as a smile spread across his face. The next day Lucifer woke up in a room with 4 girls, whose names he didn't even remember. Lucifer thoughts, wow, I had a great night, but it's time to go back. Thus disappearing. Tazuna house. Everyone was having breakfast until the blonde appeared out of nowhere. Lucifer, good morning. What is for breakfast? Tazuna, for God's sake, boy, don't scare me like that. The blonde just smiled and sat down. Lucifer, don't worry, old man, I won't do it again, since we're leaving today. Zabuza, hey boy, are you sure we can stay in your village? Lucifer, don't worry, Zabuza, I'll take care of everything. The aforementioned only nodded. Thus the hours passed where everyone was already on their way to Konoha when Lucifer spoke. Lucifer, hey guys, I'll see you in the village, I have things to do. Kakashi, okay, see you there, Lucifer. Kushina just looked at Kakashi and spoke. Kushina, Naruto, you're not going to leave, it's very dangerous for you to go alone. And you, Kakashi, why do you tell him that he is fine? Kakashi just shrugged and spoke as he walked towards the village. Kakashi, he knows how to take care of himself, even more than me. Kushina only got angrier, but when he turned to take Lucifer away he was gone. Con Lucifer. This was in front of the now murdered Gato's mansion. He just entered and walked until he reached the office. When he opened the door he could see a blond man with a white button-down shirt accompanied by a maroon-colored jacket and pants of the same color. Lucifer, hello Razor, how are you? And your sister? Razor, hello Lucifer, I'm fine and my sister is fixing some things. The blonde just nodded. Lucifer, Well, how about having a town at your disposal, apart from having your own mansion all to yourself? He said with a smile, which was imitated by the older blonde. Razor, I love it, I think I'll have a great time from now on, hee hee. Lucifer, well, I have to do something so you could turn around. The older blonde was only confused by the last bit, but he decided to listen to him. Lucifer, seeing this, put his hand on his stomach and began to extract a red chakra, causing it to take human form. Once he finished, he turned slightly to see Ari standing, but there was one thing that didn't fit the kitsune. Lucifer, I forgot to tell you that when you went out into the outside world you would have no clothes, but I'll fix that now, he said with a smile as he looked her up and down. After a few seconds she snapped, making Ari engulfed in flames and then appear in clothes. Lucifer, you can turn around now. Razor, upon hearing Lucifer, turned to see a woman with 9 tails and ears wearing a fairly tight kimono. The older blonde stared at the girl for a few seconds until someone snapped their fingers repeatedly and spoke. Lucifer, yo, focus. The phoenix snapped out of his trance to look at the blonde. Razor, sorry. And who is she? Lucifer, she is Ari, or better known as QB. Razor, so she's QB. I should have known by the lines. Lucifer, yes, whatever you say, but now I have to go, we'll see each other soon. Razor, okay, see you, Lucifer. Thus the minor blonde and the kitsune disappearing, leaving the phoenix alone. On the outskirts of Konoha, Lucifer and Ari appeared a little closer to the entrance so as not to be seen. Lucifer, very well, I think it's time for you to hide your tails and ears, don't you think? The kitsune nodded and did as requested, but she realized something. Ari, why am I smaller? I look like a girl your age. The blonde just smiled and spoke. Lucifer, well, I'd given you my age since it will be easier to make you go unnoticed. A pretty girl is not the same as a pretty woman. I think it will attract much more attention than with the first option. The aforementioned only nodded in understanding. The two began to walk past the doors without problem, since the guards were doing what they always did. Sleep. Once they reached the tower, the blonde went up to walk past the receptionist, but not before greeting her. Once he reached the door, he kicked it and entered as if nothing had happened, drawing everyone's attention. Lucifer, I'm back. Kushina, where have you been? Lucifer, damn. You don't care, and now, excuse me, I have to introduce someone. Everyone was surprised and remained silent. After a few seconds, Ari walked into the room, surprising Kushina, Minato, and Mito. Ari, hello, my name is Ari. Kushina, Naruto, where do you know her from? Lucifer, I met her on the way to the village, we got along well and I brought her. I want her to be a shinobi and for her to be in our group. Everyone except Minato looked at him strangely. Kakashi, Lucifer, there are already 4 of us, we can't have another member. Lucifer, I don't see the 4th member. Sasuke, the 4th member is Sakura. By the way, where is she? Minato, Sakura is no longer on your team, she is now on another one. Kushina, and why that change? Lucifer, I asked him even though I had to promise him that I would go to his house to eat one of these days. Kushina looked at her husband and smiled. Minato, well, okay, he'll join your group and be a shinobi, but I'll have to get him an apartment, and he'll also have to come to a meeting with the council with Zabuza and Haku. Those mentioned nodded. Lucifer, oh, a meeting will be fun, I'm in and there's nothing else to talk about. Minato, seeing that his son would not change her mind, accepted it. So everyone leaving the office. Chapter 10. Lucifer and his group plus the new members who arrived in Konoha were leaving the office to head home. Lucifer, well, it's time to go. Zabuza, Haku, you are coming with me. Those mentioned only nodded and headed towards the Lux. In luxury. Once they arrived, they headed upstairs, where as soon as the door opened they found a rather peculiar scene. Lucifer, wow, it looks like you had fun. You know what it means, right? Everyone looked at him with a look of having no bucking idea, even Itachi who had just arrived. Lucifer, they will be short-minded. Well, since I see that you are special, I will tell you, it means that we can also do the same when they are not there. Kakashi, why do you include yourself? Yes, you do that with or without them. Lucifer, wait, what do you mean? I'm not saying about getting drunk. Kakashi, and then what the buck do you mean? Lucifer, let's party and have fun with women, you know. Sasuke, but if you do that here, and again whether they are there or not. Lucifer, well, it's also true. But I think everyone going out to party would be great. Itachi, yes, the day Azazel booked the club we had a great time. He said she with a small smile. Lucifer, of course, bastard, because everyone got a girl and had a night of hex. Those who were at the party, upon hearing what was said, smiled with satisfaction. Zabuza, what the buck are you talking about? Lucifer, don't worry, Hake, you and Haku weren't there that day. Zabuza thoughts, damn how well it was going without calling me by my nickname. Lucifer, well, I think it's our turn to pick up. He said as he looked that in the living room there were bottles of alcohol, clothes, broken things and a lot of dirt. Zabuza, I do think it's their turn to clean. Lucifer, oh Zabuza, you also clean. Yes or yes? The blonde said with a threatening tone. Zabuza, okay, don't act like that. She responded quickly as she began to sweat. Meanwhile, a certain Kitsune stayed on the sidelines since she was the one who knew the least about what was happening, and could only remain silent and observe. When everyone started to clean up, she went to sit down, being smart and staying out of the way. In the living room you could see that it was cleaner, but it was still dirty. Everyone was working until Lucifer, but what the hell? Everyone turned around seeing Lucifer on his back holding something. Haku, what's wrong? Lucifer, how the hell can they put this in? He asked as she turned around and revealed a 2-foot dildo. Everyone looked at him in surprise and wondering how the hell they could do that. Ari, but how the hell do they fit that? He didn't explain how they don't put it between two of them. Everyone looked at her, making her a little nervous about the attention from her. Itachi, Ari, why the hell aren't you cleaning with us? We could have already finished. Lucifer, because she is smart like me and took advantage of the situation when we were talking. Everyone looked to the Kitsune's side where the blonde was sitting. They quickly looked back to see another Lucifer. They continued like this 4 more times until someone spoke. Sasuke un puto colon? Lucifer, of course, what do you think I'm going to clean up other people's shit? Anyway, I only sent a colonist because it's my house and I don't want it to be dirty. Sasuke, and you could not have reminded us that we could use colons this way we don't waste our time. Lucifer, well, I didn't see it necessary, plus I saw you so dedicated that I didn't want to interrupt. Sasuke just looked at him and created some colones, which the others imitated. After a few minutes the entire room was clean with everything in its place. At that moment the elevator would have shown itself to the girls who had returned from who knows where. Lucifer, well, look at who we have here, if they are the girls who left everything in a mess and did nothing to clean it up. The aforementioned only shrank and tried to go back down, but the blonde quickly grabbed the door and forced the girls out. Lucifer, I think I have to teach them to clean up after themselves, he said with a perverted smile. The girls just smiled and imitated the smiles that the next morning there would be no trace left. Lucifer, you guys will already know what to do with your girlfriends. Those mentioned nodded, watching as Lucifer took Mikoto, Penemu and the 4 girls from Azazel's party, which surprised everyone because they were still here. When the blonde disappeared into his room the boys looked at their girlfriends, who with one look made the boys break out in a cold sweat and look away. The next day everyone was already having breakfast except Lucifer and his girls. Suddenly the door opened showing Lucifer with a smile, but behind him were the girls with a look of pain. Everyone wondered about those faces until they noticed that they were limping. Ryanair, wow, I think it wasn't what you expected. True? Penemu, no, it was harder, much harder. Calawarner just looked at them with a smile until he saw a certain black-haired woman. Calawarner, it sounds like you're not in pain, but frustrated. Bye. Mikoto, the bastard tied me to a chair and then forced me to watch him buck the others, and on top of that he didn't do anything to me. Lucifer, it's normal, you are vicious and you like to be hit hard. If I had done with you like the others you would enjoy it. Sasuke, Lucifer, I shit your bucking mother what I told you about talking about your hex sessions with my mother. Lucifer, yes, yes. Well, today is the meeting with the Council of Invessels. South, place your bets. Zabuza, what are you betting? Lucifer, the bet is about who charged me first. Kakashi, if so, I say Sakura's mother. Sasuke, I think Hamura. Mikoto, I say to some merchant. Itachi, I say Danzo. Lucifer, okay, and you Ari. Ari, not even the members, but I know some who have spoken to Mito at some point. I say Koharu. Lucifer, well, let's go since we're getting late. So everyone headed towards the tower, where it didn't take them long to arrive. Once inside, they entered the room where everyone was already waiting for them. Mikoto sat next to Kushina since it was his place as the head of the clan. Haku, Zabuza and Ari stood in the center of the room, while Kakashi stood behind Minato, and the two brothers sat behind his mother. While Lucifer took a chair and sat down while making a cigarette and a glass of whiskey appear. Minato, welcome and thank you for coming. Today we have a meeting since we have new members to the village. Everyone nodded to what the Hokage said. Minato, well, as we are all ready, we can begin. Civilian, before starting, I would like to know what Lucifer is doing here, since Mikoto's children understand it since they have to learn. Minato, I let him come and without anything else to say we started. Civilian, well, we start with Zabuza and his companion. I say that they be under surveillance for a few months, and then join our ranks. Hamura, I think the best thing would be for them to root so that Danzo can turn them into good ninjas. Minato, it won't go to root. Hamura, why not? So they would be loyal ninjas. Minato, they already are since we gave them a second chance. Hamura, but it is. She couldn't finish the sentence as someone interrupted her. Lucifer, I told you no, old man, so shut your mouth. The man looked at him with anger. Hamura, have a little respect, kid. I'm a councilman and you have to treat me with respect. Lucifer, how am I going to treat someone with respect who already has 1 foot in the grave? Hamura, damn demo. Hokage, how can you allow that lack of respect? He said silently on the part of the demon, since he remembered what happened to the poor civilian who called him that. He is now himself in his house with severe trauma. Minato, Naruto, please try to restrain yourself in these meetings. He told the blonde since he knew that not even a joke would change his attitude. Lucifer, I'll try. He responded with a small smile. Civil, returning to the topic, I found out that the girl has the bloodline of the ice element. What if we put her in the Kra? I don't know how to spell it. Lucifer, you can't. He answered simply. Civilian, why not brat? One of the laws says so. Once again the blonde interrupted. Lucifer, yes, I know, but it's not possible. He's a man and I doubt he can be a mother. Everyone looked at Haku with a surprised look. Lucifer, that's right, it's a rag. But she does look more like a woman than many women in the village. Everyone nodded in agreement with what the Inuzuka said. Minato, well, it's already decided, a few months of surveillance and that's it. He said, downplaying it. Danzo thought, finally, it's a shame not to have Haku, but I'll settle for the girl since she has great power. With it I will be able to make strong shinobi to follow me. Minato, okay, and now Ari, she is a girl with great talent that Naruto found and brought her. Danzo, I say go en route. The counselors and civilians nodded. Minato, Danzo, how many times have I told you that no one is going to go in? I told you that no one else would come in. Danzo, Minato, keep in mind that Root is an organization that takes care of the village in the shadows. There is nothing wrong. Lucifer, of course, and I am a saint. What do you think I don't know what you do in your organization? Danzo, there is a child who believes what I do. Lucifer, you train shinobi to follow your orders exclusively, and then position yourself as Hokage. Danzo, and what evidence do you have? Lucifer, I don't have them. Danzo, and then why do you come? Hokage demanded compensation from the blonde. Lucifer, I accuse since you are going to confess everything. Danzo, what are you saying? If I had to hide something that makes you think, what would I say? Lucifer, simple. Approaching Danzo with an evil smile. That made Danzo nervous. Lucifer, you will tell me everything since I am the devil and as such I order it to you, he said, looking into the old man's eyes. Suddenly Danzo began to tell everything he had done and had planned. Once he finished he was shocked since he had said everything himself. Danzo, but what? She didn't give him time for anything else since the blonde's fingers were at her throat. Lucifer, sorry, what are you saying? Not good, I think you have been found guilty. Right, Hokage? Minato only nodded, a little upset by his son's action, as did everyone except the members of the Mafia and Mikoto. Lucifer, well, by order of the Hokage you will be executed, he said to jerk his head, leaving it hanging from the blonde's fingers, since he still had his fingers inside his throat. Everyone, including his friends, was shocked as they saw how the blonde had murdered someone in such a way, and the worst thing was his devilish smile. Lucifer, does anyone else have to say something? He said as he turned his head and then stepped on it, causing blood to splash on the blonde, giving it a scarier appearance. Chapter 11. After Lucifer looked at the room, those present remained silent, until someone broke the silence. Itachi and I won. Pagan, he said, extending his hand. Immediately the Lucifer Mafia stood up and gave him about $10,000 each. I will use the dollar so I don't have to write the name of the currency of the series. Those present were even more surprised, but the one who was most affected was a certain redhead. Kushina, Naruto, how could you murder someone like that? And you, Mikoto, what is this bet and why did you bet? He said, not knowing how to react. Mikoto, the bet was about guessing who Lucifer would kill first, and me believing he would kill some stupid, lost merchant. Merchant, how did you call us a whore? You will become a breeding machine without your clan becoming extinct. He was going to continue, but he stopped suddenly for one simple reason. The blonde had positioned himself behind the merchant, and with his bare hand crossed his spine, but with such precision as to reach the deepest part and not kill him. Lucifer, first, don't ever address one of my women like that again, and that goes for everyone. Secondly, who are you to talk to a shinobi like that? And lastly, you do not have the right to decide someone's life. Merchant, damn, you have attacked someone from the civil council. That is classified as treason and being murdered, he said weakly as he felt no pain, having lost connection to his nerves. Lucifer, I am not a traitor since I have learned of certain irregularities, for example hiring people to bring girls, and then sell them. That is condemned with death. Everyone present was surprised by what the blonde said, and some other civilians were starting to get nervous. Minato, Naruto, I hope you have proof. The blonde just snapped his fingers so that some photos appeared out of nowhere. Lucifer, that is enough and now you will be killed, he said, and then stuck another of his hands into his back, and then opened them, revealing his ribs. The merchant could only scream in pain, as on top of him his nerves were still intact. The blonde stayed like that for a few seconds, and then grabbed the ribs and pulled them out, these being held by 4 threads of meat. The blonde kept his ribs in the air, giving the appearance that they were wings. It remained like that for a few minutes until the merchant bled to death, causing the blonde to release his ribs, letting the body fall to the ground in a pool of blood. Those present were terrified and disgusted since not even Anko would think of something like that. Minato, okay, that's enough evidence, but what are these things? He said, looking away since he couldn't stand seeing that scene and holding up the photos. Lucifer, those are photos. There is a device that captures a place or whatever you want in the form of an image. He responded as if nothing had happened as he gently kicked the merchant's limp body. Minato, okay. Umbus. He said so that 4 umbus came out from the corners. Minato, for God's sake, please take the bodies. The umbus nodded, but something happened. Lucifer, but look what we have here. A beautiful umbu, he said, stepping on the corpse, causing more blood to come out and the organs to burst from the weight, but strangely the blood had gone all over the blonde's clothes. The violet-haired umbu just got nervous. When the blonde reached her position, he stood in front of her with a smile. Lucifer, hello, my name is Lucifer, although I think you should already know it. Umbu, yes, I already know who he is. she said the Umbu, stuttering from terror and nervousness. Lucifer, don't worry, I only do that to people who deserve it, so don't worry. When he was going to say the Umbu's name, he remembered that he didn't know her, so he made a gesture with his hand for her to say his name. Umbu, I'm sorry, I'm on duty and I can't reveal my identity, she responded with some nervousness. Lucifer, wow, what a shame, but nothing happens, he said, and then lifted the woman's mask to the level of her nose. Then he turned to her or her ear and whispered to her. Lucifer, at 10 come to my house at the Lux, we'll see you go. The aforementioned opened her eyes in surprise, but she opened them wider when the blonde kissed her. When she reacted, the blonde was already separating. The people who knew the identity of the Umbu were surprised since she did nothing to prevent it, and knowing that she had a relationship with hate. Lucifer replaced the mask and then headed to his original seat. The room was silent until the Umbus left the room, still with the purple-haired girl a little gone. Lucifer, everything is fine, is there anything else? When she finished speaking, the door burst open showing Mito and Menma. Myth, yes. I want you to give me back what belongs to me. Lucifer, excuse me? What have I stolen from you? Unless it's the pay that Kushina gives you, I don't know what it could be. Myth, I mean the Kyubi, you stole it from me when it belonged to me. Lucifer, you know it doesn't belong to you, right? And I'm not a thief. Well, yes, but I haven't stolen that. Myth, yes, it belongs to me and you have stolen it, so you can give me back the Kyubi power that you have inside you. Lucifer, if you want, I invite you to go look for it. Myth, how am I going to look for him? If you have it. Lucifer, I don't have it. He simply said that he upset certain people. Kushina, how come you don't have it anymore? Lucifer, well, why did Kyubi's power leave my body? I don't know, he dropped it. Minato, yes, but we mean where he is now. Lucifer, well, free. That terrified those present as it meant that the beast was now loose. Kushina, Naruto, do you know what that means? Lucifer, yes, and I don't care. Minato, Naruto, the Kyubi could attack Konoha again. Lucifer, it won't, and don't ask me how I know, because I won't answer you. So let's keep quiet and continue. Civilian, damn demon, don't lie, you have it to recover your powers. Lucifer, sir, please stop taking the drug, how am I going to be the Kyubi? But I am an excellent person. Sasuke, yes, a fantastic person. Lucifer, well, is there anything else? Because I have a lot of things to do, you know, he said, releasing some power to keep the civilians down. Minato, yes, since there is no one who wanted to contribute something, the meeting ends, he said, a little impressed by the power the blonde displayed. Lucifer, very well, I can go home now, so goodbye, he said to get up and head towards the door, but was interrupted. Menma, hey, where I think you're going to lose. He couldn't finish because when he tried to get in the way, the blonde put his hand on his face, then immediately applied force, causing Menma to fall to the ground. Lucifer, shut up, abnormal, I don't have time for your nonsense. Bamono guys who are waiting for us. Everyone nodded to go to the blonde's position, ignoring Menma who was still on the ground. When they were about to leave, someone spoke. Kushina, Mikoto, you were my friend, how can you sleep with my son? She asked with her head down, not knowing what to do, whether to get angry or depressed knowing that her friend had abandoned her. Mikoto, well, to begin with, he is no longer your son. Secondly, I am with him since he knows how to treat a woman, and thirdly and finally, he knows how to please any woman. And believe me when I say any woman. They then disappeared amid flames. Those present began to leave the room, leaving the Hokage with his paperwork. In luxury. Lucifer had appeared in the room with his entire group behind him, where everyone could see two people. The first had brown hair with eyes of the same color. She was wearing a black jacket with white edges accompanied by a red shirt. Her pants were the same color as the jacket but without the edges, and she was wearing sneakers that did not match the outfit. Next to him was a silver-haired man with a black high-neck jacket accompanied by a green shirt that showed a little of his chest. His pants were red but he had some kind of black protection along with a chain on his back. His left leg, The protections were fastened with gray ribbons on his right leg reaching up to his knee, except for one that was on his thigh. His footwear was more in line with his outfit, filling a more dignified gray footwear. Kakashi, Lucifer. Who are they? Do you know them? Lucifer, yes, the brown-haired one is Issei and the silver-haired one is Vala. Vala/Issei, hello? Lucifer, and they are part of the magic. I think they were the first Well, it doesn't matter. I have called you to get to know each other and to discuss a matter. Everyone nodded and then sat on the couch. Lucifer, well, I called you to give me a little help to corner Menma, since that son of a bitch is around town all day and would attract attention. Valley, no problem, but what's wrong with attracting attention? If that's what you like. Lucifer, yes, I love it, and even more so when I screw people, but in this case if I do it in public they will start bothering me and I'll pass. Issei, I understand, and when will the day be? Lucifer, it will be tomorrow at noon. He usually goes to a Chiraku ramen to eat, so what we will do is hit his pride so that he can challenge us. That way we can take him to a training camp and there will be my magic. Not without first beating him up, of course, ha ha ha. Vala, okay, at noon we will arrive at your house to start. By the way, Kuroka told me that when are you going to see her, that she wants to see you. Lucifer, shit, it is in the mating season. Issei, and? You don't like to buck? This is the best time, right? Here Issei will not be so stupid since every person who befriends Lucifer acquires a personality similar to him. Lucifer, yes, but I know that if I go into the room I won't come out for a week, and as much as I like it, I can't since I have things to do. Vala, well, I already told you, so let's go, see you tomorrow. Issei, I say the same. Thus the two disappearing in a magic circle. When everyone was leaving to do their things, they were transported to another place.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.